Hey friends, welcome to our Utsuk YouTube channel. This is our 6th video tutorial on Java programming. In this video tutorial, we're gonna cover about the control structure in Java. So let's move to the content. At first, what is control structures and the types of control structures? There are basically three types of control structure, that is decision control, selection control, and repetition or loop control. So let's move to the definition of control structures. Control structures are programming blocks that can change the path we take through those instructions. Suppose that we have statement 1 and it executes at first, and similarly we have statement 2 and it executes at second, and there are n number of statements and it executes the sequential manner. But in some case we have to run the program in our own desired way, that is, always the program cannot be run in a sequential manner, as you might have needed to skip the other statements. And if you want to run the statement and after that again you want to run the statement 1, then these are only possible through the control structures in programming language. Every programming language has its control structures like if else condition, switch condition, or looping condition. So basically control structures are used in programming language to maintain the flow of the program. So there are basically three types of control structures: decision control, selection control, and repetition or loop control. In this video tutorial, we will cover only about the decision control, and in later on videos, we're gonna cover about the selection control and repetition control. So let's move to the decision control. Decision control or conditional branches can be categorized into three parts: if only condition, if else condition, or if else condition. So these are three categorization of decision control. So before moving into this section, in previous video I have told you about that we will be discussing about the equality operator while reading if else condition. So let's move to that section first and we will cover this. Equality and relational operators. It determines the relationship between the two operands. It checks if an operand is greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to, and so on. These are the equality and relational operators. This checks whether the two operands are equal or not, and this is not equal to. It checks whether two operands are not equal. This is greater than, less than, and greater than equals to, less than equals to. These are the similar operators that we use in our mathematics. So let's move to the if only condition. If statement is the most simple decision making statement in Java. This is the simple statement that generates the condition, and if the condition is true, then only it executes the program. We can use this to decide whether the certain statement or block of statement will execute or not. Simply, if a certain condition is true, then a block of statement will be executed, otherwise it won't. So this is the basic syntax of if condition. Here is the if keyword, and this is the here we give the condition, and if the condition is satisfied, then only the inside block of if is executed, otherwise it is not executed. So let's see the flowchart. If there is a condition and suppose that condition is true, then it will run the code inside of if block, and after that it will return to the rest of the remaining code. And if the condition is false, then it directly returns to the rest of the code lines. So I hope that you have understood the if only condition and the basic syntax and the flowchart. So in order to understand practically, let's move to the NetBeans IDE and we will practice there about if condition. Let's open our NetBeans IDE. So let's create one project. Next. And I'm gonna give name as practice underscore 05. Let's remove this, as I'm gonna rename my class name as conditional branches. So let's rename. So let's create one if condition, if only condition. I'm writing this comment so that you could easily understand later on when you see the coding section. So let's define one integer value as int equals to 5. Now we will be checking the condition that if the integer value is greater than 5, then print some message. Now using this variable, we're gonna check some conditions here as if integer value is greater than 5, then print the value is greater than 5. Otherwise it simply come out of the if block and prints message out of the if block. So let's run this program. You can see that it's only printing the out of if block, as it's not printing this inside the if block because the condition is false here. Now if we run the condition as true, suppose that if integer value equivalent to 5 and the value is equals to 5. So let's run this program. The value is equals to 5. It's running the if block statement as well, and after completing this if block, it's running the out of the if block statement. So here the condition is satisfied, that it checks the condition whether the integer value is equivalent to 5 or not, and the condition is satisfied, so the if statement is executed, and after that, after completing this if block, it simply prints the out of the block statement. So I hope that you understood the if only condition. So let's move to the second cases, that is if else condition. We use else to specify a block of code to be executed if the same condition is false. Let's understand this if else condition by taking the real life example. Suppose that if you are in a traffic and you need to go to your office, but there are two roadways, and first condition you apply is that if there's a huge traffic, then take the roadway 2, otherwise take the roadway 1. So these are also the conditions that we always use in our daily life. So in programming language also, there is certain types of conditions may have to be applied. So if the first condition is true, then run those statement, otherwise run other statements. So these types of condition can be handled using the if else condition. This is the basic syntax of if else condition. If condition we have discussed as before, and else is the part that it gonna be run if the if condition is false. So flowchart, if there is a condition and the condition is true, it simply run the code inside the if and it simply execute the rest of the code lines. This is the if condition. And if there is a else condition as well, and if the condition is false, then it gonna go to the else part at first, and then only it goes to the rest of the code lines. So this is the flowchart of if else condition. So in order to understand the if else condition, let's move to the NetBeans IDE, as this is if only condition. Now I'm gonna give here as if else condition if integer value is greater than 5, then print the value is greater than 5, else the value is not greater than 5, and this is the statement that gonna be prints after the if else. Out of if else block. Simply let's comment out this code of if, and if we run this program, as we can see that the value is not greater than 5, it's giving an out of if else block. So the integer value here we have declared as 5. So 5 is greater than 5. The condition is false. So it does not execute the inside of the if block, but it execute the else part, and it's simply giving me here the value is not greater than 5, and after that it goes out of the else block and it simply prints the rest of the code. So I hope you understand the if else statement in Java. So there is one last category of if else, that is if else part. So let's study about that as well. We use else if to specify a new condition to test if the first condition for the if block is false. And this is the basic syntax of if, else if and else condition. If the condition 1 is true, it simply executes the if block, and if there is a second condition to be checked, so it checks from the else if condition, and there could be n number of else if statements, and if these all statements are not true, then only the else part gets executed. So let's see this with the flowchart diagram. There's a condition 1. If it's true, then it executes statement inside the if block, then rest of the code is executed. If the condition is false, then it checks the second condition if it exists, and if the second condition is true, then it executes the second statement inside the else if block and it runs the rest of code. Suppose that if the condition 2 is false, then it's gonna check the condition 3rd, and if the condition 3rd is true, then it executes the statement 3 and then rest of the code is executed. And finally, if the condition is false, then code inside the else is executed, and after that the rest of the code lines are executed. So I hope that you understand the basic concept about the if else condition along with the flowchart and the syntax. So let's see this practically in NetBeans. At first I'm gonna simply comment out this, and let's create here one comment: if else condition, if integer value greater than 5, simply run the value is greater than 5, else if integer value equivalent to 5, the value is equal to 5, else the value is not after the all the if else if block, it's gonna print message out of. So let's run this program. As you can see that the value is equal to 5, it's only running the else if block and it's executing the else if block, and it simply prints the rest of the code lines. As if condition is not satisfied, so this inside the if block is not executed and else part is not executed, because else if condition is satisfied, it simply prints inside the else if block and then it executed the rest of the code lines. So I hope that you have understood the basic concept about the conditional branches, like if condition only, if else condition and if else if condition. So in this video tutorial we have discussed about the decision control. In next lecture video we're gonna cover about the selection control. So we will meet you in our next lecture video. Till then, goodbye.